Why didn't we do a podcast last week?
What happened last week?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, scheduling. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had a field trip. I was at Chuck E. Cheese.
You was Daddy-O last week.
I was playing dad.
I was that 2 weeks ago. They had the kids go to Bird on the Mountain. It's like that, a Bird on the Mountain, just walking and learning about it.
For what?
They went on a trail walk. I did that with them. It was me and like 4 of the parents, like chaperoning the kids. And then we went just to, they did some craft stuff and like learned like what a blacksmith does. It was all kinds of stuff. So we talked about all of that, but we're here. You see this?
Back at it.
We back at it again. Back at your face. Take out a tape. Producer Pat. CP, Carl Prather. How was your weekend? Did you get to go outside yesterday?
Oh, Saturday we stayed the entire day at the lake. So it was very nice.
Some people ain't able. Some people ain't able to go to the lake. What kind of yacht you on?
Not full clarification. Not my campground. Not my. The boat's in the shop. Also, not my boat.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to the parents. But we spent the day Slick Rock Campground out in Franklin County, out in Bell Green, Alabama.
Shout out to Bell Green.
Whole
Bell Green
day.
Bulldogs.
Amanda posted up in the hammock for like 4 hours.
She said, the world leave me alone.
Didn't leave. The cool thing about when you take the kids to the grandparents is that you kind of cease control of the kids over to the grandparents. You can kind of be like, it's y'all's problem for the next however long we're here.
I was just thinking about because Blake is 8, and Lindsay legitimately said this weekend. She said, "Man, we're getting to the point now where like he's remotely self-sufficient.
Yeah,
like he just does his own thing. He don't need to be around us. He can come and hang out when he wants to. He's too cool for school, so he wants. So we at that stage. I told Lindsay that I'm going to get a countdown clock. It's going to be right at the top, like one of those tickers.
Yeah,
it's going to see like 10 years, X amount of months, X amount of days, whatever. So when he get out of high school, I'm gonna throw myself a party when he goes to college.
It's for you?
For me. All of the pain and suffering. I'm gonna throw myself a party. But what's up? I got about 10 years, 18. He in college. I'm outside.
Because they say whatever you did to your parents is gonna come back tenfold.
I was a good kid, though. I was a good kid. I was an absolute menace in college, though, but I was a good kid for the most part. I was outside all day yesterday. I had no shirt on.
Okay.
Out in the back watching the final round of the PGA Championship.
Yeah.
Me and Blakester, we were out here hitting tennis balls in the backyard, throwing footballs, baseballs. It was a day yesterday. Loved it. Nothing like the summer. Do you like, is this your favorite?
I like the summer. Yeah. I like the summer.
I can't trust anybody that doesn't choose summer number 1 over all the seasons.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Don't
I feel like I feel like I agree with the summer, but I get where people are coming from when they say that, like, hey, I'm not down with like the 90 degrees and the 122% humidity.
I want all that. That's what I want.
I mean, I like it too, but I could see how.
I feel you. And then, people love the winter and the fall because you get to layer clothes, a sense of comfort.
Style. Although I hate the winter, to be honest with you.
And I'm from Kentucky, so I like for truly experience like winters and snow.
I hate snow. I hate ice. I hate all of it.
I don't know why anyone likes it. Why would you like that? I want the heat.
Maybe if you lived in a place that was prepared to deal with it on a constant basis, but not here at Alabama. No shade to the people around here.
I need to figure out what's the record accumulation for snow here in Huntsville, Alabama. Like, could Huntsville, Alabama survive 25 inches of snow? We'd be shut down.
Could it? Could any place survive 25? But I'm sure that was that 2. I don't know. Was that 2 feet?
Yeah, I've had a couple 22 plus snow weeks in my life.
Yeah, I don't know. 2 feet's a lot, dog. Down here.
Like you open up your window and you'll see nothing but snow.
Oh yeah, we couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that?
Nah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'd just be like, this is my coffin, I guess.
No, you're down.
I'm just down here in the house.
You're just up in there.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
No.
You would absolutely go stir crazy.
Yeah, because down here, the power would probably be out.
Out.
Yeah, I ain't dealing with that.
You had a chance to see all of the Drake talk with all that man dropped 40-some songs on Friday? You seen any of this? You watching any?
I haven't listened to it. I've seen some of it. I've seen some of the album titles, some of the collabs. Are we surprised that there's Atlanta rappers on there?
No. Atlanta loves them.
I mean, I guess after. Well, I'm just only saying that in reference to obviously the Kendrick stuff that happened, but
Nah. I listened to. Have I listened to all? I've listened to all of them, but the other two outside of Iceman, I need to listen to a little bit more. Iceman's great. Did a really good job with the album. But man, that's a lot of music. Like 40 something. Like that man dropped 3 separate albums. Now, allegedly, he's trying to get out of this UMG deal.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why he threw this out. They're out here throwing out. The man talking about being a $1 billion free agent. That man had a video for every one of his songs on Iceman on YouTube. He's just like breaking all of the streaming and everything. He like
at this point, why would you even sign with anybody else?
Correct. I wouldn't sign with.
Would you just not be your
one-offs? I would just do one-offs. I'd be like, this is what it's going to take for you to make this album. And you can buy it from me.
Yeah.
I don't know how the music industry works, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been outside of Lane Kiffin last week. Drake is legitimate since it's like the build-up for it all. And then Friday, or over the weekend, I mean, it's like if you opened up any social media, he was everywhere. I was like, sheesh. I think, obviously, because we're at a point where there's not like sports-wise, there's things going on. We got the NBA and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, for us here in this region of the country, it's just nothing really happening right now, if that makes any sense. So it made sense there. But so last week, obviously, we were all over the place trying to get stuff done. We're recording this on a Monday. We'll this will be an extended podcast. I will be in KT, Kaylee Tinglestad. We'll be down in Oxford and Jacksonville, Alabama, starting tomorrow. Shout out to all of our young people, man. Our high school baseball teams and softball teams, they're wrapping up their championships before the school year is officially over and the academic and athletic calendar over for them this week. So super excited to get down there to see these kids hopefully win championships and stuff. And see if we can bring home some state championships for some of our area teams. But as I mentioned last week, a little talk from in Oxford, Alabama, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, regarding one Lane Kiffin. So if you've been living under a rock and didn't have an opportunity to read the Vanity Fair article or magazine, whatever it was, from Lane Kiffin, he said a mouthful. I want to ask you, did you have an opportunity to read that? You have enough of an idea to know what he said and what happened and all this? I just want your early take.
I didn't read the whole thing because I think it's behind a paywall. Vanity Fair.
It was, yeah. I had to sign up with an email to get it for free, and then I canceled the subscription and to read it.
I will say, and I want you to go first because I want to hear what you have to say. I will say that I believe the writer came out or maybe said in the piece that like he didn't ask any questions about race, so Lane Kiffin just kind of offered this freely. I would like to hear your thoughts on it because I believe that our thinking on this is probably pretty similar.
Ooh, doggy. So here's the deal. Two things can be true at one time.
Correct. Yeah.
Like that. The irony of this whole situation with LSU fans and Ole Miss fans, once again, two things can be true at one time. You open up any historical book from any moment in time, even going back to 1997 when Confederate flags were being waved in the stands of Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Yes, that was a thing. Yes, Tommy Tuberville told you stop waving those flags. Yes, because it probably didn't do the best to bring recruits to said Ole Miss. The lineage of the name Tigers at LSU. Look it up. Two things can be true at one time. Here's the first truth. You go back far enough, you're going to have a little bit of ugly history no matter where you're at in the Southeastern Conference.
Or in America in general, by the way.
I'm glad the white guy said it.
America in general.
100%. Here's the other part about this that can be true too. Why in the hell are you all surprised from anything that Lane Kiffin says that is not self-serving? What? How long are we going to do this, y'all? Like, the man just got $91 million. Did you... This man decided to leave his team at Ole Miss, who were on a historic run a play away from possibly playing in the national championship.
Which is important to keep in mind, I think, is the more Lane Kiffin talks, this team was a play away from being in the national championship.
Natty.
And then who knows at that point, right? I'm not saying they beat Indiana, but they're 50-50 shot, right?
You leave team. From reports, sources say, whatever it may be. You're telling coaches, get on this plane, get on this car. If you don't, you ain't got a job. You try to bring Trinidad Chambliss, Kewan Lacey, bring them to Baton Rouge. They decided to stay. Only until said athletic director at Ole Miss said, no, you're going to have to go. We need coaches here. Players need to be here. All while you're trying to, at the same time, bring people over to Baton Rouge. You get $91 million, Lane Kiffin, to go to Baton Rouge. And what word did y'all think that he was not going to say? Did anyone in their right mind thought that this man was going to be quiet once he got to Baton Rouge? Two things can be true, guys. And now, the irony of it all for me is the back and forth with the Ole Miss and LSU fans. Like that Spider-Man meme. We pointed about who had the most disgusting behavior, like, in history. Like, no, you had it worse. No, I had it worse. You had it. What we doing, y'all? Lane Kiffin has made sure that he has stayed in front of college football, good, bad, or indifferent, from September of last year all the way until now. Everything is calculated with this guy. I think he's a hell of a football coach. I will also want to throw this out. Just being around him enough. What you see and what you're reading from Vanity Fairs and the E60 that's when you're in front of him, completely different. We go to SEC Media Days, Patrick. If you didn't know any better, you would think that Lane Kiffin is probably a recluse or shy. He's not boast like none. You don't when you're around him. You don't get all of this. It's two different type of Lane Kiffin. Like don't let all of this fool you or anyone. I don't know why anybody's surprised. Hello, football coach. I think he's going to do really well at LSU. I would think. Now
he better hope.
Now here's my deal. Here's what I'll say. I've always said and always held the LSU football job in high regard. If I had to choose or rate just pure program to be a head coach in, they would be one or two for me. With all of the resources, the players, you can recruit the state. You have everything there just to win. It's just one of those type of jobs, right? I'm going to say this a little low. Are we sure year one, they are as good as said payroll is going to be? It's a lot of ifs. Just throwing it out there for doing apples to apples. I get it. Quarterback didn't go through spring, dealing with injuries. Got a really good left tackle. We know their wide receivers are going to be capable. We know 40 on the other side at linebacker is awesome. We know the back end is going to be good. But are we certain? And if you've listened to some of this, got a lot of attention last week. If you listen toward the last couple of weeks, it's been year 2 and year 3. That's what's been slowly kind of emanating out of that camp. Well, we'll get to year 2, year 3. I pay Patrick Akers $91 million to work here 48. You wait until 2026 to get the results, or you wait until 2027?
I think the people that were paying me want it ASAP, yeah.
ASAP. You got to go to Vaughn Hemingway Stadium in game 2 or whatever it is. It's going to be a night game. That place is going to be out of control. He may fight some of the coaches over. They actually get into a fight on the field during the handshake. I get it. It sounds crazy what I'm saying, but Powder keg, forget powder keg. I don't even know what you can describe this as, what this is going to be in September. Like, I have zero words for this. Long, short story short, short story long. I mentioned the two things can be true. I mentioned Lane Kiffin. I mentioned the history of LSU and Ole Miss. For me, if I'm an LSU fan, you won the quote unquote the PR battle from the standpoint of we got our coach, right? At some point, sooner rather than later, like this summer, I got 91 million reasons why we better make the playoff. Period. Now, there was a coach who used to coach in South Bend, Indiana, that was at that program. And 2 9-win seasons and a Heisman Trophy winner wasn't good enough.
Right.
This is what he did. He got fired. They give you $91 million. Also, where they find all this money from when they were talking about they didn't have any money a couple months ago prior to?
Oh, you know, you can find it. It's always out there.
Man, shoot a brother a loan or something. I'll buy you bingo down. I just think this fodder is going to be warranted just because we're in the off season.
Yeah.
Then, on top of that, you got Sark throwing shots at Ole Miss, obviously because him and Lane are tight. You got Florida's head coach John Silver out here throwing shots. Patrick, a week from today, all of them going to be down in Destin for the spring meetings.
Yeah.
If I could be a gnat on the wall. If I could have just been a fly on the wall in there.
Because you got to hope that you keep the same energy up.
Keep that. Because you got to see me face to face.
Right. So make sure we keep it.
We doing all this.
Pete Golden seems like a type of guy that would make sure you want to keep it. You want to come correct. Like this.
Let me tell you something. I love Pete Golden. Football guy. We don't condone violence, America. You fellow take after take listeners and watchers. Find this podcast where podcasts are available, by the way. But Pete Golden, look like he got all that action. He want all that smoke. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't know. I just want to know what is about to go down in that room when the coaches are together for these spring meetings. Because there's a whole lot of this in Oxford, Baton Rouge, parts in between in the footprint of the Southeastern Conference. But see, we all got to see each other.
Yeah.
In a room. I'm going to let you go.
The thing with me about Kiffin.
Oh, no.
Is there's a couple, like you said, a couple things can be true. So, yes, he's a genius play caller. He's all this. He's also incredibly self-serving.
Yes.
And it's been this constant shifting of the goalposts when it comes to this LSU Ole Miss thing. Because, at first it was all about, well, we can't win a championship at Ole Miss. That's why I'm leaving. I'm going some greener pastures, right? Well, then Pete Golden and Trinidad Chambliss are one play away from playing a national championship. So that, and then Indiana wins a national championship. So that narrative doesn't hold anymore. So then you get, what rubs me the wrong way is you get this guy who I think it is worth pointing out in this context, he is an outsider. The guy is not a Southerner at all. So when he leaves a place like Ole Miss, to win the PR battle, there's basically one more card he can play, and that's he plays the race card, right? He plays we have these recruits who have all brought up, their grandmothers have brought up about Mississippi's racist past, which, again, is probably true. I'm not going to say that's not true. I'm sure, especially he said grandmothers. Just like you said, going back, you can see it. Now, LSU and Louisiana also doesn't have a shining example of progressive civil rights in that case as well. But it's if that was such a sticking point for you and you cared so much about it, if only you happened to be the highest paid state employee in the state of Mississippi, who was close to all these seats of power to where you maybe could enact some type of change to help with this situation. But you're talking out of both sides of your mouth because you actually don't care about this at all. Because if you did, you would have done something about it. And I think that is what rubs me the wrong way, is that when you say words like segregation and you bring up these sort of emotionally charged things for a lot of people, it's like striking a match and just letting it burn. But you were in the unique position where you could have done something about it and you didn't. So you're bringing up a topic you really don't care about.
Well, the weird part to me is that in the midst of this battle between Ole Miss fans and graduates and people just love Ole Miss and people that love LSU and Baton Rouge, it's almost like everyone forgot the person in the middle of this all that literally like lit the quote unquote match and like backed away or threw the grenade in the room and closed the door. Everyone's emotions were charged so high to point out, well, you did this worse than we did this back in the 60s and 70s. You did this worse than we did. And everybody has a bunch of stuff that is just terrible, right? But then, like, I just would have liked fans, and I get it because fans short for fanatic. I just would like fans to step back and say to themselves, even if you are a fan of LSU, you be excited that you have Lane Kiffin as your coach. Yes. But the step back for me would be like, this is what he does. So why is anyone surprised whatsoever? Ole Miss fans, you all were hyped. He comes to Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think this was Matt Corral's year. I'm on the field level, so I had to watch the TV copy when I came back. But he said something that says, like, I can't wait to go down there, get the ball and score. And they got ran out. It was Will Anderson's year.
Yeah,
they got absolutely destroyed. Ole Miss fans, y'all were hyped. Y'all was hyped when y'all had him. And then he walks away and he starts throwing this out. And everybody mad. But like, why? I still for the life of me can't understand like why no one, and I'm not saying everyone, there's a faction of fans on social media and stuff that just did not see through the BS and be like, bro, that's what you do.
You would just hope that someone, and again, I think this comes from him not being a Southerner. I don't think you or I would ever play with something like race and not like deal with it with the respect and like that it deserves to be spoken about. This was just kind of an offhand comment. Again, the reporter didn't even bring this up because this falls so outside the scope of what football, between the lines of football. So like, I think that's what you're asking. I think that is what got on people's nerves the most, or kind of like hit a nerve. Is like, oh, these are like serious things that we're dealing with. Like that podcast, way smarter than ours. These people still deal with this kind of stuff. So to just kind of willy nilly throw that out there. Mm-hmm. By the way, I think Trinidad Chambliss's family was interviewed. They said they have no problem with them being in Mississippi. There've been a couple other Ole Miss players who said they have no problem being in Mississippi. So, like, again, if you felt that this was such an issue that you couldn't get the top flight players to come to the school, then why did you not do something, even in the sake of winning championships and making money for the school and for yourself, do something to try to change his narrative? And the answer is because he didn't care.
No, like, how about this? Lane Kiffin legitimately is at LSU and still in his feelings. Let's just be like, we can dance around all of this and wade through the pounds of BS, and it's thick and it's smelly and the minutia of it all. Lane, man, he didn't get to coach that team all the way through the playoff. That's what you're mad about.
Yeah, just admit that you're the villain now in college football.
Embrace it.
And deep down, you are an a-hole, and this is what you do. I would just have more respect if that was the case.
Lane had I vividly remember this because I sat here in the studio and watched it. You basically did an E60 piece, almost like an interview or a resume builder, just so all of these said suitors that were out for your position to be their head coach could see that you are a changed person.
I'm glad you put that in quotes, by the way.
Why? Yeah, like my question is, why did you have enough history from someone to tell you that that is not the case?
But I think
in what world?
But I think that there is something innate inside of people to want to give other people second chances.
You're right.
And to believe them when they say things.
Hey, listen. I am that. I am he. I am him.
And when you say things like Oxford's my home, Oxford helped save me and my family,
right.
And then you do this.
Lane wants to be in the realm of a coach that can obtain and attain these type of blue blood type creme de la creme type program jobs, right? He never has been an insider. He's always been on the outside, like a genius, quirky, but he can't run a big program. He would crawl to Alabama if they said, hey, we want you to be our new head coach. They ain't even talk to him. You are mad and you feel some type of way, so you want to just continue. You just want to burn Ole Miss down to the ground because you couldn't coach the team in the playoff. See, here's what you thought. You just thought that Keith Carter, the AD, and the admin and university president, everybody's going to be like, oh, Lane, you coach this team. We'll just figure it out, later.
Which is insane to me.
We want you to just, you coach it all the way out. This is your team. See, that's what you thought. Keith Carter said, I wish I might. You out here being quarterback on these teams, and you think you going to beat it and coach the team too.
Nah, close on the tarmac, big dog. Out. Out now.
Get on out of here. Get out of here. That's what he's mad about. He hurt.
Well, grow up then. I don't know what to tell you. Grow up. He's 51. And I used to be a Lane guy. I thought it was all funny. But you know that.
Oh, you ain't a Lane guy no more?
No, I'm out. It's like, have you seen Step Brothers?
Love Step Brothers.
You know the scene where they're in the tuxedos and they're that's what this is now. Now it all seems messed up. I thought it was just fun and games. Now it's a little, you're just still the same old guy. You've been taking shots for 20, 30 years and you've yet to grow at all.
There is nothing that has changed for me with Lane Kiffin since he became head coach at the Raiders, Tennessee, the Vols.
That's 20 years. He had no growth in 20 years? That's despicable.
To me, he's been the same. There is nothing that has changed. Listen, for his quality of life, he's been open about this. Doesn't drink anymore, whatever. Hot yoga down, loves hot yoga the whole night. Patrick from the Tennessee, the Raider in Tennessee, when he was the coach of I was in this building the night that he decided that he was going to leave Tennessee to go to USC. Nobody, any sensible person would understand. USC, that's home. That's your alma mater. You love that place. That's your dream job. Whole nine. It's just the way you went about to do it.
It's always been about the way you have gone about conducting yourself.
Your business.
As a person.
No one, hold on, college football fans. No one remembers. You can go back. It'll be in 4x3. It won't be in 16x9. You can go back and look at those press conferences when he was at Tennessee. What he said. Does everybody remember when he left? All the violations they were, recruiting violations, all the violations and stipulations they had within their program? Right? You go to USC, fired on the tarmac, had to be humble, went to the rehabilitation process known as Nick Saban, came back. He had to fire you in the playoff because you worried about your Florida Atlantic job. You go to Florida Atlantic, do your thing. Of Ole Miss, for good, bad, historic badness, bad crap that people of color and people have had to endure. When you were looking to try to get back into the game at the P5 level, came and said, come here? Who got you the LSU job? Didn't Vaughn Way Stadium have something to do with that? Didn't Ole Miss have something to do with that? Those players? But you decided, you said, I'm going to grenade, close the door.
And also in this age of like NIL and these last 2 to 3 seasons of college football, like what even is a big time program? Like, is it still the traditional powerhouses? Like, I don't know. Ole Miss and Indiana were just 2 of the last 4 teams that were standing.
Correct.
And a resurrected Miami Hurricanes. So, like, what does that even mean in 2026 and beyond for college football? Like, is LSU? They say LSU's a better job than Ole Miss. I'm like, yeah, based off of what we have known prior, I would say that's so. But like going forward, is that going to be the case? I don't know. He better hope it is, by the way.
Ole Miss and the great people of Mississippi. Ole Miss said, come help us. We can help you. And just the mere fact that, Patrick, in what world you work at Channel 48? Let's say you go work at Channel 92. They offer you quadruple your salary. You go over there. Outside of them calling you everything but the son of God, are you ever going to badmouth publicly this place?
No.
In what world?
No.
Terrible look.
Yeah.
Why should a 40, how old are you?
35.
35 and 43. Why should a 35 and 43-year-old have the wherewithal and idea to know that a 51-year-old doesn't know? But see, here's the thing. He doesn't know because you've done this every single place you have been.
And so I think to the fine folks of Baton Rouge, I would just say, you better hope this works out. Because if it don't, he's gonna do you the exact same way.
Oh, there's no hope.
He's doing everybody else.
It has to work out.
Yeah.
$91 million?
You've made a deal with the devil. Let's hope it pays off.
We talked about this when he got that job. I will continue to say the guy is an absolute genius. He's a wonderkind. God has blessed him with a gift. He's got it. His offense is just favorable schematically. Listen, all 22 copy coaches, they'll tell you, like the proof is in the pudding. We watch it on TV copy. His offense can just do things for players and skill sets that just make it hum. And the type of players and stuff that he will have at LSU now and in the future will set it up, will just make, it'll be crazy, right? You brought him here to win national championships, and I said plural, to make them you know how you were mentioning about Ohio State, like if you had to pick a team that's for the last decade, the last 5 years, last 7 years, Ohio State, you could, outside of Georgia, you could literally say those are the 2 best. LSU fans are expecting the Tigers in this program to be at that level. 1, 2, 3 seeds, national championship games. A bad year is a semifinal miss. I'm going to say this the best way I possibly. There isn't a hope. I don't need to say there ain't no hope. It's when you gonna bring that snow cone to LSU, to Baton Rouge. When we gonna hold that up? Is it this year? We'll give you a little baby mulligan. Don't go to 8 and 7. It's 8 and 7 wins. 9, 10 playoff appearance. Lose the second round or something. You better make that playoff this year. And you know what sure better be in the thick of it all in 2 years. But they didn't pay you to. I've seen this movie before numerous times. There's some really good, but also remember, you had a team that could have won a national championship. You saw it in real time. Devil's advocate here. I truly believe that Lane Kiffin looked and said to himself, for the year that we just had, and I was the coach, I don't want to be a part of a 7-5. I don't want to be a part of maybe a 6-6, 8-4, and then have to incrementally try to get that back quickly. Whereas I can just roll out of bed at LSU. My life is easier just because of I don't have to work as hard, if that makes any sense. You all understand what I'm saying as far as footprint and what LSU brings to the table as a collegiate program and the resources and the fertile recruiting ground. I don't have to do as much because I can roll out of bed in 1-9. Don't bring no. How many years? He got 3. I don't know how many years it is. I give it 24 months. You better be playing for national championship. That's what they paid you for. They didn't pay you for. They didn't pay for anything else. National championships. It is unfair as unfair can get. But y'all wanted this. Don't get mad at me. Don't get we're just a mess.
I was just saying, yeah, this is everything you ever wanted.
This is what you wanted.
So it's not.
This is all your hopes and dreams. LSU fans, you can go Tiger Bait and all the great people that work at 24/7 on message boards and all. This is what everybody wanted. Is Lane gonna come to Florida? Is Lane gonna come to Ole Miss? This is what you wanted. So here we are.
Yep.
Your thought process on we need to look at the schedule, but the other part about it, I get it. It's a spring. They're about to get in the fall camp. We'll have an opportunity to hear from him, and there'll be so many questions thrown his way. Media days.
Yeah, don't backtrack either. Answer them.
Answer them.
You said it. You can't get mad for creating a situation that you made. You can't get mad for the circumstances, the situation you made.
I think Ole Miss is going to be really good next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, Trinidad Chambliss helps matters. Kewan Lacey helps matters. You legitimately have, I guess, if you were to look on a betting board for futures for Heisman Trophy picks or your top 15 players, how cool is it that Ole Miss has 2 of them?
Yeah.
So now we just want to see kind of what this looks like defensively with Pete. Everyone that loves Ole Miss is rooting for him. I'll be brutally honest, and you can attest to this. I think just college football fans are rooting for Pete Golding to do well, right? Here's another caveat. See, all this rah, Suskumba and all this stuff, that sounds real great right now. Let Pete Golding go 6-6 this year. They're going to want you out too.
Yeah. Such
the world we live in major college football in the Southeastern Conference. It's win today.
That's it. That's the Kurt Signetti effect. You don't have time anymore. There's no time. Indiana won it in 2 years. That's the timeline. Indiana.
Because I was going to ask you this, because we discussed this, once we were going through the playoff run last year. You were new to this thing. I think it's so cool to be able to watch a NFL fan fall in love with college football the way that you have the last 24 months. Just from the outside looking in, when you see Kurt Signetti in Indiana win this, and for me at 43 years old, being a sicko with college football, I never would have thought that I would see Indiana win a national championship, right? For you say there's no time limit for anybody, especially if they want it.
Yeah, what then? Because every perceived advantage that you can think of to help you create a college football program, championship level program, Indiana was at the very bottom of all of those lists. And in 2 years with a new coach, they completely remade the roster. And in a probably the best conference in college football, they go undefeated and win a national championship. By the way, the undefeated part, which is something we thought would never happen again. So, yeah, Indiana has access to everything else that everyone else has access to right now. So if they can get a coach who can come in and evaluate guys and find value in guys who the system itself overlooked, cast them out to D2 or to smaller schools, find value in those guys, bring them in, build a chemistry, and win a national championship, then if you are Steve Sarkisian at Texas, if you are Lane Kiffin at LSU, if you are Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, if you are even a guy like Alex Golish at Auburn, you do not have excuses anymore. The excuses have been taken off of the table. We give you money, you get players. If that don't work, we can't get rid of the players necessarily, so then we got to get rid of you. And, I just don't see all these people being like, oh, well, it takes time. I'm like, does it? It's the last 2 years then, 24 months is all it really takes, right?
That's fair. And I wanted to switch to, obviously, the outside of the Lane Kiffin talk, the American Football Coaches of America, they've met over the last couple of weeks. It just seems like it's inevitable. Forget the 16. It's inevitable that we're probably going to go to 24 or 2014 playoff eventually, which leads me to this discussion that I wanted to throw out. For me, when you get to 24, if you are a sitting coach at a P5 program and you're not one of those 24 consistently on a consistent basis, i.e. basically every year, you out of here.
You have to be.
I mean, because then you have to say to yourself, and I think any coach, pundit, evaluator of college football, you say to yourself, if we have 24 spots, meaning floor 8-4, 9-3, 8-4 can possibly get you into the playoffs, especially if you're playing a really quality schedule. Everybody's about to go to the 9-game schedule, conference schedule. So your non-conference is going to be really the heavy hitters, right? You're going to play some big-time non-conference matchups to, A, boost your schedule. B, if you win, it helps you. C, if you lose, you still at least win to play somebody. If you can't make the college football playoff as a program that's quote-unquote serious about college football, you want to talk about hot seats. The hot seats are going to be as hot as they have ever been because you have no excuse. Just like you mentioned to me about Indiana, you have zero excuse if you can't find a way to navigate yourself in the 25th. So, of course, if it was up to me, I would love to be in the 14 playoff because I just think 4 teams, you're getting the best of the best, right? Okay, we moved to 12. It's been great. But ultimately for me, Patrick, the one thing that we are going to get out of this is that if we thought that college football was cutthroat now for programs to try to get a leg up from recruiting and resources for NIL cash and free agency and signing kids to deals, it is going to be a fight to the finish. And once we get to this 24 here in the next couple of seasons, because a chancellor, an athletic director, a president, and fans are going to say to themselves, we got 24 spots and we can't get into the 24.
And it's not like Indiana had the highest payroll last season.
Correct.
Either. That's another important thing to remember. So it's not just throwing cash at a problem. It's putting resources and then finding the right guy that knows how to direct those resources or at least build the culture. Because if it was just throwing cash at it, then Ohio State would just win every year.
Are you in favor? When you hear 24, are you in favor of it, or is that too much?
I mean, listen, realistically, how many of those teams actually have a shot of winning the championship? I don't know, probably half a dozen, right? 5, 6, probably. But there's going to be one of those years, because it will happen eventually. The 20th ranked team gets hot or whatever, makes a deep run. I think for reasons like that is probably compelling TV enough. But it's just more games. We're going to get down to the eventual who are the best teams anyway.
Patrick, I get that. And I'm the first to say, of course, it's more football. I'm going to be excited to watch the playoff. I'm never not going to shy away from meaningful college football games or just football in general, right? But man, my question to you and just to listeners, why? So what made college football so unique was that the regular season was so important. And people can dance around this all they want. There's no way in the world you're going to tell me that if I am Michigan, if I am Ohio State, and we know we got the playoff the next following week, we can dance around this, it's a rivalry game that means that much more for these players and all. Man, these coaches are going to be looking and be like, no, we're going to sit half of this team. We're going to go through play a quarter, get out of here, and let's get ready for the playoff. All I'm saying to you is that at what point is enough going to be enough? You're mean to tell me we're going to have 24 teams, and we're going to have teams out here that are going to be in the middle of the pack of a P4 conference, 8-4, 9-3.
Yeah.
And playing while we have, I don't know, I mean, I'm assuming what will they do? They'll how many teams will have buys, whatever it may be. But, bro,
Well, I mean, listen, if you have a problem with more,
I don't.
I mean, that's all. Not to get too heavy, that's all America is now. It's more.
There you go.
So like that cat's out of the bag. It ain't coming back. I hate to break it to you. It's never gonna go back to that. You know,
20.
You might cap it at 48 or whatever.
2014.
I mean, yeah, it'll go up from there too.
You think it's gonna go up even more eventually?
Of course, at some point it will. Until you have the SEC and the Big Ten break off and do their own thing. I mean, that inevitable
I've been saying
is
that
coming.
forever. Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those things that I think that can be.
And then you probably go back to 12 teams or something.
Right.
16, whatever.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm interested to see in the next decade if that happens once TV rights deals kind of, evaporate and go from there. I'm very interested to hear from Greg Sankey this summer and a lot of the college commissioners, Petiti in the Big Ten, just to kind of hear their stance on it, because it seems like, from all indications, Greg Sankey does not want this. Petiti does want this, and that's what he's been pushing toward. But it could be something eventually where, if you get enough a groundswell of support. I've always said this. I just think you're going to have a breakaway eventually, from I think you'll have a new national championship for the group of five. And then I think that eventually, your power conferences will break away and do their own thing.
Yeah, barring some kind of federal intervention, I think that's where it's inevitably going.
You're okay with the 24? Not really.
I think it's fine. I don't care either way. I would like, now that we're 24, I want to see more games on college campus. That would be my sticking point. If I had to negotiate, that's what I would want. I would want all the games on college campuses until we get to the last four.
Yeah, and I hope that
last four teams, not last four games.
Yeah. So then and make those the last three games, the two semifinals and the national championship, the neutral sites.
Yes,
I agree. Now that would be cool. That if that happens, I think that would be maybe something they lean toward. You're going to have more on-campus games because I just think that would be great for college football if we're going to move in that direction.
I mean, yeah, that's the best part of college football, right? It's the pageantry of the stadiums and
extra revenue for you said universities. You're going to do, and then I think the other thing that we want to touch base on, coaches and the NCAA, they're trying to navigate something once we get to the 24 eventually that. Moving the calendar is not shortening it, but just moving the calendar up so games are not being played in the middle of January. Maybe, the first week of January we're done. You're going to start the season a little bit earlier. Maybe that week 0 will now be the week 1.
Just put the national championship game on New Year's Day. Just do it. I don't understand.
What are we doing?
College football has such a history on New Year's Day. You remember the old bowl games?
Yep.
Like everyone,
it's amazing.
Just do that. That's all you have to do. But they're like, oh, well, people don't want. Yes, they do. First of all, people go out New Year's Eve. Okay, so if you push it back far enough New Year's Day, depending on how much fun you have New Year's Eve, you can wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Some of them adult sodas.
So a little bit.
Oh, buddy.
Bit. And then New Year's Day, boom, you wake up, you have breakfast at 6:30 at night, have a couple of waffles, have a couple of pancakes, you turn the game on.
Turn it on.
What do we do?
Let me lay up.
Yeah.
Why not open?
Yeah. Because this year it's going to be what? January? It's like 2 weeks away from 3 weeks away from the Super Bowl? Like, that's crazy.
It's wild. It's wild. Let me look here. 2027.
Yeah, I think it's like January, mid-January, 14th, 15th.
It is January 25th.
That's stupid. That's so stupid.
Quarterfinal. How about this? First round games. Obviously, we played on campus side. This is AI telling me. Quarterfinals Wednesday, December 30th. You have the Fiesta Bowl. Friday, which is New Year's Day, it's going to be the Cotton Peach and Rolls. The semifinals are on January 14th and 15th. And then the national championship is January 25th.
Like, in what world does that make sense?
January 25th.
I've often wondered this. Like, how do people who make decisions that impact so many people, how can they be so stupid? But happens to be the case with a lot of people like that.
Dollar bills, man. Everyone, listen, as you mentioned, more.
I mean, more.
Even ESPN, ESPN is kind of gotten out there in the ether saying, we kind of want to go to 16. We don't want to go to 24. But here's why you don't want to go to 24. Because you got to share these revenues with TV.
I mean, yeah.
You want to keep it all.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid that somebody else gets to have $1 or $2.
Yeah, TNT. Little first round game.
Come on,
Amazon,
TNT.
Amazon Prime.
48. We're going to run one. 48. We're going to be in Nashville, Nissan Stadium. Do that. Listen. College football has now officially become a year-round sport. The beauty of the evolution of college football is solely because more people outside of the traditional fan base, because college football was regionalized, it's opened it up so that everyone has something to discuss, talk about, and just think about it. I mean, I never would have imagined 30 years ago that college football would be in the consciousness of just everyday media now, as far as from a sports standpoint. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful that that we're here. We just want some things to kind of be corrected and changed as we evolve the sport. If I tell you that college football is the second most popular sport in North America, do you believe me? Outside of the NFL,
I think it'll get You
think it's close?
Yeah.
What would you put the NBA?
NBA is second. Yeah. I think baseball is hyper regionalized, and
more than it ever has been.
More and yes, a lot of that is because it can't get out of its own way.
Correct.
Which it seems to be a common theme in Major League Baseball.
Right.
But no, I would still put the NBA, I think, second right now, but college football, I think, is very, very close behind, and give it a couple more seasons of college football, and I think it can overtake the NBA. Not to poo-poo on the NBA, because I think it's the NBA potentially, with all its young stars, is hitting another sort of golden age with the Wembanyamas and the SGAs of the world.
I agree. We'll switch to the NBA momentarily. Reports are coming out. We discussed this a couple of weeks ago. Reports are surfacing that tomorrow during the league spring meetings, they will award Nashville the Super Bowl for 2030. And rightfully so. Normally, for those that may not understand the process of cities receiving Super Bowl bids, a lot of times teams that are building new stadiums are going to get a Super Bowl eventually. So for sports fans and just pop culture and sports fans in general, Nashville's going to get WrestleMania. They're going to have a WrestleMania eventually. They're about to have a Super Bowl. I think it's Super Bowl 64 would be in 2030. The stadium's going to be beautiful. Super excited for the city of Nashville. We had an opportunity a few years ago. Remember, went to the NFL draft. That was super cool. Was Kyler Murray the number one overall pick that year? I don't think he was the number one. Was he the number one? Was he the number one overall?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were there, and that was the first year that the NFL moved the draft.
Yeah.
And Nashville showed out, man. It was an amazing atmosphere to be in. But yeah, super excited for Nashville. They'll make that official tomorrow.
So 2030, that gives Cam Ward, 4 seasons?
4 seasons.
All right, that's doable.
I was going to ask you.
That's doable. We can do that.
4 years from now, off the top of your head, where will the Titans franchise be?
In the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, what'd you say, 64?
64.
64 them, and let's go Bears. Chicago Bears.
You would be in absolute tears.
Oh, yeah. I've talked about
just
this
emotional.
before. Yeah. So Titans versus Bears, Cam Ward versus Caleb Williams. What will be the two best quarterbacks hands down in the NFL. I'll take that. That's my prediction. Mark it down right here.
You like the uniforms? You like
the new Titans uniforms? Yeah, I like the new uniforms.
Powder blue is funky. I like it.
Yeah, everybody likes them. Did you see the clip of Mendoza at the rookie?
Did not.
Yeah, he was just talking about how fresh the Titans uniforms looked. Yeah, big hit with the young folks.
They're good.
Yeah.
We have 4 teams remaining in the National Basketball Association. And for those that may pretend that the NBA is not fun and amazing and enjoyable to watch, I don't know where you have been living or hiding, because the playoffs have been absolutely fantastic.
Also, if you think that, watch the Spurs Thunder series and then come back to it.
I'm watching. I want to make sure every possession, I need to see that. I am so excited. No disrespect to the Knicks, because the story is amazing. No disrespect to the Cavaliers, to find a way to take care of the 1 seed. But all eyes are on SGA and the reigning world champs against what I said in 3 years would be the best player in the world, Victor Wembanyama, and this amazing cast for the San Antonio Spurs. Game 1 tonight, or Monday, as we're recording this on a Monday. I just want to just paint an overall picture of the NBA really quick. This notion that, oh my gosh, the NBA is failing, tanking, players not playing, all of those things can be true.
And I do think those are problems they need to address.
They are 100% big problems, right? Even in the midst of all of that, the NBA has been fantastic this year from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's been great. Your quick thoughts on the Spurs and OKC. Do you want to pick a winner? Do you have a lean one way or another?
I want to pick the Spurs because I want to believe in Wembanyama and the fact that he is embarking on something that no one has ever done at his age. So MJ was 28, LeBron was 27. Wembanyama is 22 years old, trying to take down what could potentially be, if they get past the Spurs, the next great dynasty in the NBA, in the Oklahoma City Thunder, just because they have so many picks, they have so many young players on contracts. If it ain't the Spurs, I don't know who it's going to be. It might not be nobody. So you have this sort of David and Goliath, but the David character is a 7 foot
monster,
alien dude from another planet going up against, the two-time MVP in the Spurs, or two-time MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. On the other side of this, how cool would it be if the New York Knicks make the finals? How cool would it be if they end up winning the NBA championship?
The whole city will burn down.
And on that side, you're like, well, man, if we don't do it this year, when are we ever going to do it?
We discussed that at the beginning of the playoffs. We were like, New York.
Because they had really good luck this year in their conference.
They did with Boston.
So you have all these narratives, but all eyes are on OKC, San Antonio. These two teams do not like each other.
That's what makes it even better. They cannot stand each other.
I think Wembanyama, when he goes to sleep at night, just dreams of punching Chet Holmgren in the face.
I believe that.
Metaphorically and literally.
I believe that.
The Spurs were 4-0 against the Thunder this season. That's also important to keep in mind. This is gearing up to be something great. And if Wembanyama can do this, listen, you don't want to put a lot on the shoulders of a guy that young, but if he does it at 22, the road to being the greatest of all time is in front of him, as crazy as that is to say.
Bingo. And I know youngsters and cats have thrown out GOAT. They throw out the GOAT on everything. Everything's goated. I got roasted by my college buddies. We have obviously a long group chat for decades. And when I saw this young man, I just said to myself, I literally give it 36 months. He's going to be the best player in the world. Everybody's like, yeah, you're right, Heber. I personally think win, lose, or draw, I think he's going to play out of his mind. I think the beauty of him budding as a generational super duper star is the fact that very rarely early in those guys, the LeBrons, the MJs, the Kobe, very rarely do you ever see the supporting cast on par with the talent.
Yeah.
That's what makes the Spurs so amazing, because you have Stephon Castle, who can be a franchise player in his own right. You have Harper that can be a franchise player in his own right. You have a guy that helped try to lead a franchise in Fox. This team plays great team defense. They play together as a team. But it's the superstar and then the other supporting parts that are on par with the superstar from the standpoint of all-star level guys right now. And I think that he is going to have a historic moment the next 2 weeks. I don't know why. I just have this inkling that the Spurs are going to win this series. I don't know how many games. I don't know how this is going to go, but I think a lot of it's going to have to do with just how amazing Victor Wembanyama plays, barring any kind of injury or setback of that nature.
Please, we can't take another one of those in the playoffs.
Yeah. He's out of the conversation, then it took like OKC is winning this going away.
Yeah.
But pedigree. I know it's different when a team has been to that point before and has climbed the mountaintop. But I just have a sneaky suspicion this young man at his age and what he brings to the table, Patrick, I just think we're going to have a historic series from him. And I personally think the Spurs are going to win the world championship. And I think that this will be the start of an illustrious career that we will talk about when we are in our 60s and 70s and say, well, that's that. And I know everyone, we talk about the greats, but you're going to have to discuss this young man. Don't want to put that on, like you said, on this 7'4" shoulders of this young man. But it's almost like the rest of the league, including OKC, whether they want to believe it or not, it's like we're just trying to get as many as we can now, because for the next 4 to 6 years after this, I mean, they're going to be in every final. It's going to be one of those, like, for those that watch the NBA in the last decade, it's going to be one of those Golden State runs. It's going to be one of those Bulls runs from the 90s. It's going to be one of the, it's the Spurs runs in the 2000s. It's going to be that. I just think they're going to win, but I think he's just going to be transcendent, man. I do. I think tonight he is going. The stat lines alone, Patrick, is what are going to be like. My God.
Well, keep in mind, like, he's 7'5".
He is 7'5". I could say 7'4". He's
like,
7'5".
It's. We've never seen this before, and we've never seen somebody this young do this at this level. I mean, you look at the plus minus when he's on and off the floor is like ridiculous.
It's insane.
Like I said, 4-1 against the defending champions who had the best record in the NBA. So
and winning in some of those games going away. I'm talking about dominating the game. And
you can even hear it like when other players talk about it, they're like, why are, like, I think Jalen Williams was interviewed, like, basically the question was like, why have you guys had such little success against them this season, and is that going to play a factor coming in this, blah, blah, blah. And his response was just like, well, they got a guy that's 7'5" and he's really good. Like, it doesn't even go into advanced analytic, like, game planning. It's like he's 7'5", he defends the basket, and when we get into the lane, you can literally see these guys' brains break because they've never seen this at any level of basketball. There's just a freaking tower that's standing in the middle of the lane, and to see these players at this high of a level try to, like, game plan on that on the fly has been interesting to watch this season. And yeah, I just think, if he can get it,
look out.
It's just like you said, he that GOAT road.
Yes,
he's at a crossroads. He's turning left.
Yes,
and they're down there at the end of it is MJ and LeBron territory, and that's where he's headed to.
Yeah.
So.
Cleveland Cavaliers get a Game 7 win last night against Detroit. Listen, I've said this with Detroit. A diehard Detroit native, a friend of mine that I know, loves Detroit, and I was doing my best to try to explain to him. I was like, they need one more scoring option. I don't know where you find it, how you get it, what you trade for to do it. You need a guy that can give you 15 or 17 and 9 moving forward. Because two things. They can't afford Cade Cunningham to have a bad night in a series. And they don't score well enough to be able to have you believe they're going to be able to push the door open to be a championship level team until you do that. I believe that they will do that. It's very hard to have one season not get to an Eastern Conference final or Western Conference final or a finals. So you're going to have to see this window that you're in with Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham and say to yourself, we got to continue to enhance our roster from a scoring standpoint to be able to do it. And I'll never forget, he said, well, man, Tobias Harris has been balling. I was like, all due respect to Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is 95 years old. You can't ask that man at this stage of his career, as great as he's been, you can't ask him to be able to sustain that for that long. And let's just be honest. We just can be brutally honest with each other and NBA fans and fans of sports. The Pistons were 23 missed field goals away from being knocked out anyway. Why is this a surprise or shock to anyone? So credit to the Cavaliers making shots. They have shot makers. And I think that I said to myself, thinking about the road to whomever comes out of the East, just the way that the Knicks were playing, it didn't matter if it was Detroit or Cleveland. I would be shocked if this goes more than 5 games.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be over quick, fast, and in a hurry with the way they play it. And OG Anunoby is going to be possibly coming back in the series, so you add more firepower to that. Everyone is kind of bought into what Mike Brown is selling. The distribution of the basketball, the balanced scoring that they have. I think they're going to the finals. So the Knicks and the Spurs, I think Spurs win it, obviously because you have an alien on your team. So I just have thoroughly enjoyed the NBA, and it's been fun to watch. I've been super happy that we've had NBA games now on NBC. But no, it's been great.
The Amazon Prime games have been fantastic. Their studio setup's been great. Like, it's just been I think it's smart for a lot of these networks to get in on the NBA because there is such a depth of young talent. I mean, that's not even to say anything about Anthony Edwards. Like, if he can ever kind of get over the hump, some of these other young guys, and then, of course, the batch of rookies that we got coming in right now, Peterson, DeBansta, I mean, you got 4 guys here.
I was going to ask you, with the NBA draft, how about the Wizards getting the first pick?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned this when you were talking about DeBansta in the tournament. I'll dive more into that at the end of the month and going into June before the draft happens. It seems like there was a lot of momentum for DeBansta to be the number 1 pick, but it seems from afar that it's almost like that's kind of been more reserved, and now everyone's starting to get back on the Darren Peterson train. You mentioned that you would take DeBansta 1.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a question.
Do you? Projection-wise, are you just concerned about Darren Peterson, like just his makeup, or you?
Yeah. I'm a little bit. I don't want to say that because I think he's more talented.
Oh, he's incredible.
But than this player, but it gives me a little Ben Simmons-ish vibes.
Oh no!
Just with the makeup, Ben Simmons at LSU, the team doesn't make the tournament when he's there, and you're like, how do you not make a team of 64 tournament when you're one of the top draft picks? Darren Peterson, the competitiveness just alarms me a little bit because you just mean to tell me that when he gets into the league against better players, all of this is going to change. Like, that's just hard for me to believe. Now, I know they have done a lot of, I don't want to say excuse making because that sounds too harsh, but they've come out, the Peterson camp has come out with a lot of reasons to why what happened in Kansas went down the way it did. And I know a lot of NBA execs, they've been watching this kid since in middle school.
Right.
So they know everything. But, like, I don't know, man. If you want to give me – if I get the choice between a guy like Peterson, who at times this season I saw take himself out of games, against a guy who in DeBansta who was playing out of his mind, playing almost every single minute of the game at BYU, and trying to single-handedly will his team – far into the NCAA tournament. Like, just give me that guy. Or give me a guy like Cam Boozer who's just won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
I
think they had some sort of crazy stat when he was in the combine, Patrick. It was something that had to do with his vertical leap or something, like it was on par with Cooper Flagg's. And everybody's like, so like this notion that he's like, an average athlete is.
Yeah, he's just going to play in the league for a long time. But then you go back to Peterson and you look at some of the highlights and you're like, man, it looks like Kobe.
Hey, dog.
So, like, I don't know.
A bigger, more explosive James Harden is what I think. Like,
but here's the thing: if you take Peterson 1, you have to be 100% sure that it hits.
Correct.
Because if it doesn't, and Boozer's a hit,
yep,
and DeBansta's a hit, and Caleb Wilson's
you lose
a hit,
your job after that,
and then go down Darius Acuff if he hits, then you're gonna be like, okay, there were 6 dudes in this draft that ended up being all-stars, and you took the wrong one. So that's just and again. If you're a GM, these types of things are the things that keep you up at night. The competitiveness, because if you're not wired like that in the NBA, it's just find me the guy that wasn't competitive that was successful in the NBA.
Good call. That's a really fair assessment. Like, name him.
Like, I watched Anthony Edwards at Georgia, and that Georgia team didn't have a shot.
Correct.
And this dude's playing out of his mind on both ends of the ball.
Playing out of his mind. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just very interested because I think the conversation it hadn't shifted. I think, but it was like leaning more toward like DeBansta, and then now it just seems to me that there's a discussion to be had to have Darren Peterson. Now, Utah, I believe, has the 2nd pick, and little scuttlebutt is that Utah's going to try to do whatever they can to move up to 1 to be able to get the.
They have invested a lot in that kid.
They lying.
Since he was a middle schooler. So it would be, if you have the opportunity to now.
Dang, what do you give up on, Patrick? What do you do here? Play there. What do you mean? Well,
do we think he's going to be what we think he's going to be? Because if he is, then the price doesn't matter.
Yeah, Patrick, I just have a hard time believing. And how should I say this? I I just have a hard time believing there's not going to be about 10 to 12 All-Stars in this group.
There's a lot of talent. It seems
this is a different draft relative to the last handful of years. Even the ones you just threw out, you just named. Like, seriously, like, if you're a fan of lover of college basketball in the pro game and looking at how said players can project to the next level, Debansa, Peterson, Acuff, Boozer, Caleb Wilson.
The kid from Illinois, I can't remember his name.
Point guard. Yes, Illinois. I mean, you're talking about 10 to 11 more guys. Like, you could have 10 to 11 all-stars within Frank.
I mean, even look at a guy like Acuff, who's outside the consensus top 4. But you watch Arkansas in every single big game they played. Hooping. This dude is putting up points.
Hooping.
And they say, oh, he's a defensive liability. There's a lot of offensive players in the NBA that are defensive liabilities, so you can scheme around that. But, like, yeah, you go back, like, if you're Utah, what do you get for DeBan's? Like, I don't know. If he's going to be a top 6 player in the NBA, like, is there any price that's not worth it?
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, there's no way that Utah is going to give your first round pick from last year, who I love Ace. I love Ace. I think he's because you're probably going to want to pair Debanza with him to have 2 wings there, right? I would assume
potentially, unless like, is it worth it? You know, if Washington's like, well, we need Ace in these picks, then like. I think that's a conversation. And again, the ownership's going to be involved.
100%.
The ownership's not thinking necessarily always about wins and losses, but about putting butts in the seats. And here's a guy you can't get a lot of all-stars to come to Utah for various amount of reasons. So if you got one that lands in your lap that's been there since he was, a kid, makes it tough.
Where do you remember where the Grizz, your team, where they're picking?
They're 3.
There are 3. Okay. And so then my favorite team, the Bulls, they're 4.
Yeah.
And all draft prognosticators have Caleb Wilson going to Bull, and I'll be perfectly fine with that. Who would you like to have?
I want Cam Boozer. Yeah.
I like that.
We've had a lot of problems in Memphis. So I think getting a guy whose dad was in the NBA, who seems incredibly mature for his age,
100%, to
come in, stabilize the franchise, whatever the Grizzlies decide to do with Ja and whoever. I think that is the right call to make. To pair him up with Cedric Cowherd and some of the young guys we have. Maybe we trade Ja. See what
you over that?
I'm just kind of over that.
Does he get moved during draft day? Or
potentially.
I think
potentially.
A little draft piece.
And then again, like who takes him?
Yeah.
Because we saw what the potential was. It's crazy. If we would have been doing this podcast,
man, I know where you're going.
When Zion and Ja were there, we'd have been like, these are 2 guys. Even after their rookie years, these 2 guys could potentially change the face of the NBA. America is looking for a brand new American star. Here are 2 guys on a silver platter. I don't know if there was ever a guy in my lifetime, at least, that was as exciting in college basketball as what Zion was, with everything that was going around him, because the really TikToks and all of social media was really popping off at that time. And to just see what these 2 guys have become, it's incredibly sad, knowing too as well that a lot of this was self-sabotage in some kind of way.
Oh man. Pelicans have a new coach, former Orlando coach is now going over there. But yeah, I didn't see that. You could have pushed me over with a feather with that, because I thought those 2 guys were just about to go out of there. I mean, especially like you saw Ja, that's one thing, but just I guess maybe because of obviously the program that Zion was with, number 1 team in Duke, and you get to the Elite 8, and just how dynamic he was at his side. You just thought it was. But man, I mean, and here's a crazy story. Played his best season this past season. Played in, I mean, almost all of the games.
Yeah.
Averaged 20-something. I mean, the team's just bad, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I
think it just goes to show, the older that I've gotten, the more I've appreciated that it's not a solo act with any of these superstars. You need an infrastructure around you, be it family, friends, whatever it may be, to kind of keep you in and lock you in. And I think that's what I've kind of appreciated. Even guys like Tim Duncan, like that becomes the stabilizing force for a franchise. San Antonio sucks for 2 years, and they get Victor Wembanyama, and here they are back again, right?
Back in it.
And those guys, those legends are still kind of hanging around. So, like, I think in pro sports, that is sort of the thing that we don't talk about enough is just what these guys are sort of surrounded by, because we don't appreciate it when it goes well, but it becomes very evident when it goes south.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. The draft is must-see TV this year. Obviously, the NBA playoffs are must-see, especially with Game 1 tonight. What about we got Memorial Day coming up? Obviously, everybody will be out and about. You like grilled food?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? What's your go-to? Like what should be on Patrick Akers' plate if you are doing Memorial Day weekend? What you having?
So you talking about like perfect summertime cookout?
Yeah. What's
I gotta get a hot dog hamburger. I gotta get combo. I don't, because I know you're gonna bring up ribs. You're gonna bring that can go. A lot of people can mess those up. I guess in a perfect scenario, if the person knows what they're doing.
That is fair, though.
Give me some ribs. Give me that. But it's hard to mess up hamburgers and hot dogs.
It is hard to mess up.
And give me some good potato salad.
Mac and cheese.
I'll take some mac and cheese. I'll take some baked beans.
Baked beans.
Yeah. If I knew somebody that like the Cajun flavor, I'd do some of that Cajun food. But I don't know nobody in my family doing no kind of gumbo or nothing.
Gumbo, stuff like that. Yeah, like burgers and fries. Burgers and hot dogs are fine. I mean, because they're just like synonymous with like Memorial Day, right?
Yeah, especially if you get like some good, like a good slaw to go on a hot dog. Nothing better.
You like slaw? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like I never had a slaw dog, slaw burger, anything like that until like I got like into like post college, and I was like, oh, it is good. It's like I'd never even thought about that combo. I just didn't.
Here's the thing: it's crazy. Someone brought this up, like. Hot dogs are they're such a synonymous American food, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally an entire hot dog eating contest built around them. But like, if you actually thought about how many hot dogs do you consume a year? Because for me, it's not that many.
Not at all.
Like
the only time, like I can.
It's probably single digits for me.
It's 100% single digits for me. Because think about it. If you're not at a Trash Pandas game, or like your son or your daughter or you're at a ballpark somewhere and you're just hungry and you want to just grab some because they probably don't have anything else.
Yeah.
But even then, more times than not, if they got a hot dog, they got a hamburger.
Yeah.
And more people are going to consume hamburger than they would the hot dog situation. Now, you mentioned, the hot dog eating contest, which is random because you remember we had that long conversation with Joy Chestnut and we're just looking at him like, bro, how you doing all this?
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy in San Jose. We were at the 19 national championship game. I just literally thought about that in my head. But yeah, no, it's 1 million % single digits. Nobody's out here just eating hot dogs.
Now, it could be because we don't live in a place like New York City or something that's walkable that has these hot dog carts out there. Like maybe it's a regional thing, but like, yeah, for hot dogs to have such a spot in sort of the American food hierarchy, I'm just not eating them that much.
I tell you what, I am eating some ribs. Boy, I had me some ribs last night. I put it in the group chat.
I saw it in the group chat.
What things doing?
Now, how fast did you cook them? Because again, we got into this. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Y'all try to listen. To all you pitmasters.
Here you go again.
All you pitmasters out there. No, I get it. Because guess what?
Somebody needs to clip this because you get hate.
Clip it. I'm not gonna get hate because once a day. Didn't we just talk about Lane Kiffin? 2 things can be true at one time. If you want to low and slow your ribs. My man tenderism, you want to shake them off, let them fall off the bone? By all means, I'm going to eat them. But I'm also going to eat the ones that take me about an hour 15, hour 25. Boom, they done. Cut them things in there. Bite into them, but a little firmness. I don't care. However you want to do it, just bring them to me. I don't. It doesn't matter to me either way. I am equal opportunist when it comes to ribs. I don't care. You don't like no chicken wings and stuff like some chicken. You need some chicken wings on the grill, man, for Memorial Day, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people can mess those things up.
You want me to tell you a story real quick about somebody messed up some of my ribs one time? Lindsay and I, we go somewhere for a holiday weekend. And we out at the lake having a good time. I bring the ribs. If you've cooked ribs long, first of all, any pit master, everybody tell you, The only way that you can have edible food is you got to burn up some stuff in your lifetime before you get good. So obviously, I feel like my ribs are edible. But I bring the ribs, olive branch. Here, y'all can cook them. I saw from afar. I knew that this was going to go bad from the jump. Patrick, this is the grill. Here's the grate. Here's the grate. The meat was right on top of the grate. Fire just all over. And I'm just sitting there looking at it like this. I'm like, hey, man, I think y'all probably need to turn it down a little bit. Oh, no, you good, man. We going to cover them up and all. We go on the boat, ride around, having a good time. Come back. You know what SpongeBob says, 10 minutes late, 2 hours later. Come back. No fire. I said, well, I know how this is going to end. Opens up the grill. Patrick, them darn ribs as black as this table right here. Patrick! There's been about 4 times in my life that I've just been incensed. I couldn't say anything, but that was one of those times. It is etched in my memory. Here's the X factor. And I laugh out on time. Said person had a knife and tried to cut it. All you hear was Patrick. Then had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, to try to throw some Carolina sauce on the top of it. What they look like a fly buttermilk. It was just I was looking like. Safe to say we didn't have any ribs that night. So yes, you are right. Everybody would love to have ribs and some smoked wings and all, but everybody can't do them either.
Yeah.
Then you got to run into, like you mentioned, as much as I joke about, in that little over an hour or whatever, you got to make sure the stuff is done. You don't want to get anybody sick. So you want to kind of play it safe. Because if you go somewhere and you're not familiar with how they cook,
yeah,
and they go left real quick, nobody will be sick from Memorial Day, man.
No, but it sounds like that guy was just like,
hey, man,
we're gonna cook all the germs out of it, cook all the flavor out of it, edible meat.
Boy, that thing looked like he was on 72. They just a blacktop, the whole fresh paint of blacktop. That's how it was just gone. I was like, oh my God. And I still laugh about this to this day because Lindsay will literally tell you, she'd be like, you still talk about this to this day. This was years ago. And
then what's worse is if you have somebody that can't cook but invites you to the cook, and then you go, well, now it's a catch-22 because the food's going to suck.
Down bad.
But we can't tell them that their food sucks because we don't want to get in a fight. So do we eat before? But then if we eat before and then we don't eat, what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Fool me once, shame on you.
It's awful.
Fool me twice. You're right. That's why you. You got to know. You got to know.
You got to know yourself.
You got to know yourself.
You got to know yourself. That's to bring it back to Lane Kiffin. Just know yourself, Lane.
Patch, I'm talking about them ribs was colored this right here. It was like that. It's colored that. I said.
You didn't even try to cut the top.
He tried to. Boy, I'm talking about that thing. He did like, it's like, I said, oh my gosh. But I just knew because the flames were just engulfed. 5 minutes.
At some point it just becomes a brick. Build a house with it.
He could hit me side.
You get it, yeah.
Knock me out.
Yeah.
That's all good. What'd you say about Lane? Lane, that's right. Know yourself, Lane. Here's the thing. He does. He knows himself. Everybody else is just acting naive to not know him. We know, bro. We've seen the movie. We've seen all sequels. Like, subscribe. Take after take. Been a fun podcast to discuss a lot of Lane Kiffin.
Detective in the O.J. Simpson case, dead at 74.
Bro, why you?
You want to talk about that?
Bro, why you ending with that? Cuz.
I just came up on our notifications.
How old is he?
74. Mark Furman, I guess.
Mark Furman, yeah.
Anything you want to say about the OJ case? As we head out.
So, because you're 30 what?
35.
How old were you when the Bronco chase happened?
When was it? 90?
I don't know.
3, 4? I was 3, 4. Yeah. Too young to remember it.
I was watching the NBA Finals, and they had a double box, and this was going in real time. Here's the cool thing about being 43. And anybody 43, 44. I say this all the time, and we need to have a podcast episode just about this. What's so cool is I'm old enough to have some of the things from a technology standpoint of yesteryear, but was able to kind of grow with the innovation of all this amazing technology at the same time. And a lot of historical moments happen like in my childhood. obviously, that was one with the OJ, the chase. And I remember in middle school, Patrick, for as long as that trial was going on, our teachers had the trial going on in the background while we were at school. Like, it was just on constant, it was just on TV. I mean.
What would be who is the OJ equivalent today where if that happened, you would be as surprised? Because it had to be a retired player. OJ wasn't active at the time, right? Retired.
He wasn't, but my mother, my father, my uncles, and everyone listening, they can attest. OJ Simpson was kind of like that first one of the bigger stars that parlayed out of the NFL into like mainstream. He was very famous for the Hertz campaign commercials. I remember OJ Simpson solely because before NFL didn't have NBC didn't have the NFL, when they did have it, he was part of the pregame show that we would have. So he would be on location at places. Like he would always be, of course, he played for the Bills, and he would be at Orchard Park a lot, but he would be on assignment and stuff all the time. Him, the great Will McDonough, who was the first kind of insider there. He was amazing. But yeah, Patrick, I'm trying to think. That's a great question. I'm trying to think like who would be on par with OJ relative to how popular he was. I had to think about that. I'll come back to that. But that was obviously, it was a major, major deal with that chase and, of course, the trial. And then, of course, ESPN did make the Made in America, which is one of the best, if not the best documentary I've ever seen, 7 parts. But that is a really good question. But, yeah, that was if my memory serves correct, the NBA Finals was going ahead. They double boxed that thing. That white Bronco was just going up to I-5.
R.I.P. to the detective.
Come on, man.
What? That's our push alert. That's news for people.
Okay.
Just wanted to inform the people because we talk about them.
Like, subscribe, Take After Take, Spotify, Apple, iTunes. You can find us on the 48 Sports Zone app. That's done incredible over the last year and a half. We're super, super happy with that. You can find us on YouTube as well. Find our podcast there. Also, WAFF.com as well. You can watch it, or you can listen to it in your car or at home or wherever you are working out. We just truly appreciate you. A lot of people really, the last couple of months have really came out and said, hey, we truly enjoy hearing our community. Listen, send us a comment, 5-star review. We appreciate all of that as we continue to just mosey down this road of podcasting each and every week. So super excited about that. For producer Pat, I'm Carl Prather. Don't burn up no ribs, y'all. Don't burn up no meat. Just stay in your lane. Whatever you're good at, just do it. No, as Patrick said, know yourself. Just know yourself, and you'll have a fantastic cooking day for Memorial Day. Until then, we'll see you back here next week.